know it's recording. What's good, you guys? It is Sunday, September 18th, 19th, and yeah, lots of things unfolding. The first thing I want to address is Nicki Minaj. And so I was watching her TikTok video. I think she's on TikTok or Instagram. I think she's on Instagram, not TikTok, where she's talking for about 20 minutes in different settings about what they doing as far as silencing her Twitter feed. I was listening to the first part of it, where she's speaking a lot of truth about how they're trying to silence her, just basically asking a question. And when she said that, it brought me all the way back to 2016, late 2016. Yeah, about this time in 2016, September, October, and I'm seeing all over the news and all over Facebook that Trump was racist. And that caught me off guard because I never heard anything like that before about him. And so I go on my Facebook and I asked a question. I just asked a question. I said, when did Trump become racist? That was it. When did Trump become? And then normally, when I post on Facebook, when I posted back then, when I was posting on Facebook, I wasn't getting a lot of likes, a lot of comments, or a lot of feedback. And then as soon as I asked that question, all of a sudden, everybody had something to say to me. And I'm talking about pretty much the whole black community. Well, yeah, well, I have to say that. I can't, yeah, oh my gosh, it was crazy. Basically commenting against me for asking the question, basically saying I'm a hater of my race, a traitor of my race, that I'm a self-loather. Then of course I was getting called the Uncle Toms and this, that, and the other, and I'm like, what? So I related to Nicki Minaj when it came to that. Just basically asking the question. I can't even ask the question. Now I'm labeled everything just because I asked the question. Really? And now she's labeled. She was immediately labeled anti-vaxxer just because she was just telling people to do their research. Like it's insane. But I heard a segment on that video where she ends up, she didn't read anybody's comments, but she ends up reading somebody's live comment saying that they took 4 years to block Trump or whatever. But one second. Okay, is it still alive? Yeah. That they took 4 years to block Trump, to ban Trump from Twitter, and then, but it took 3 days for Nicki Minaj or something like that. And I'm not sure if Nicki agreed with that or not. She kind of was like, well, I guess she did halfway agree, but how could you agree with that? That was stupid. That was one of the most stupidest comments I've ever heard in my life. Like, what does that even mean? Well, it took 4 years for them to block Trump, but 3 days to block you, huh? What kind of, that was nonsense. What do you mean it took them this to do this? And what on what they block him for? On what basis? Because he told people that we're gonna fight the right way. He didn't use any violence, any words of violence. He was just saying we're gonna fight to make sure that they don't steal elections and rig elections, and that we're gonna walk over peacefully to the Capitol. And that's all they was doing. And pretty much everybody know that that whole incident was rigged, because they have to. They got to keep the narrative going, and so they had to plug in some fake supporters. I mean, that whole thing is so stupid. You look at the story. But anyway, I just hope Nicki Minaj see the truth. I was hoping that, Nicki could put she's good at putting two and two together. Like, y'all gonna block me because of this? Y'all don't see what's happening, right? And my charge to her is she doesn't see what's happening. Like, she said it makes her think it's something bigger. Well, that's either. It doesn't take a rocket scientist for that. One second. I would say the person is deceived, because anyone that would make a comment like that saying, oh, look how long it took for them to ban Trump on Twitter. How long for them? What do you mean? What were they waiting on, right? To me, that kind of comment poses questions for me, because I'm like, okay, well, what did they ban Trump for? If I was someone that's coming into this whole situation subjectively and contextually, I'd be like, well, what kind of comment is that? It took them 4 years to ban Trump, and then her 3 days. She just asked the question, what did Trump do? And of course, it's easy to, if you've been sucked into this media matrix, to believe everything that they've said about this man without research. They was not going to get me. They were not going to get me, because back in 2016, when I asked that question, and when I got the response I did, that was it for me. I was like, well, I've always been that type of person. That's just me. I'm like, I'll go against the grain, and it's nothing new for me. It was tough for me going against the grain growing up, but then I got used to it. I was like, you know what? I guess this is what this is. And let me share a story with you. I'm out here in this heat, but I'm gonna go find shade somewhere, and I'm gonna share this with you guys. Okay, I'm gonna go find some private shade somewhere so I can talk. So you guys, all right. So yeah, going against the grain. Now, back in 2010, I am in church, or meaning, when I mean in church, I mean I was going to church a lot. I was part of the ministries in the church, and I feel God telling me to go deeper in relationship. Got the religious parts down, whatever. Even though I always make comments saying like I'm not religious, but I had it down. The practices, the traditions, but God was calling me deeper, to a deeper relationship, more fruitful relationship, according to Galatians 5. And I was around youth, I was around peers, and I And not just me. God was calling us, the ministries, to go deeper. And our pastor was preaching it. So it wasn't like they didn't know anything about it. But it was against the grain to go deeper in God, even back in 2010, because of what culture is teaching. And so here I am in a church that's amazing and has all the giftings to become a super church of bringing light to the communities in Fort Worth. Still, and so much talent up under one building, so much skill, so much intelligence, so much giftings up under one small roof, yet could never keep retention of members, or keep people consistent or committed because of culture, because of the black culture, because of the world of American culture, and not kingdom culture. Kingdom culture is a totally new, different new, brand new culture that does not resemble the world's culture at all. Okay, it's a heavenly culture, and so it's hard because even though Matthew 18:18, Great Commission is on earth as it is in heaven. That's God's will. His kingdom come, his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so we have a commission, a mission as saints to bring heaven on earth. And what does that mean? I'm not talking about, the rainbow clouds and the streets of gold. No, we're talking about God's presence, his love, his mercy, his grace, his patience, his peace, his kindness, his faithfulness, his patient endurance, his meekness, his forbearance. Everything that God is, Satan is trying to botch pretty much and make it his own twisted, evil thing. And that's why he's after the saints. He's after the remnant. And so yeah, I had a lot of what do you call it? Blowback. There we go. I had a lot of blowback. And then when I tried to contact the pastor about certain things, and it's nothing against them, honestly. If you ask me, he's still my pastor, okay? If you ask me, he's still my pastor. So I took a sabbatical from attending the church before the before before the plague that came. And let me pause this. And trying to get the lighting, y'all. Yeah. Okay. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So I'm listening to this thing from Nicki Minaj, and you guys, this thing is not, nothing to overlook. As hard as the media will try to push this aside, brush this aside, this should wake up so many people. In fact, I believe this should be something that would cause a domino effect in hip hop culture, in American, what do you call it? Pop culture, famous people culture, whatever you want to call it. It should wake a lot of them up to start speaking out. Um, Now, and as far and then this, as far as the thing that's happening in and at the border of Texas, like this breaks my heart. This right here breaks my heart. I'm Haitian. My dad is from Haiti, and I have I mean I'm doing an ancestry right now, not ancestry, but my heritage thing right now. So I'm going to find out the rest of my ancestry. But one thing I do know, my dad is from Haiti, and to see 10,000 plus people sitting at the Del Rio border with maybe 10 to 12 porta potties that they all have to share amongst themselves, with maybe 20 ICE agents with water bottles trying to make sure everybody stays hydrated. It's hot today in Fort Worth, Texas. It's 95 degrees, and y'all just saw me. It's hot and it's sweaty. Tomorrow's going to be 100 degrees. Thank God that the temperature is going to drop drastically by Tuesday. Um, I, I can't believe this is happening, you guys. It breaks my heart to see all those people outside, and I think those people come from, I don't even know where they came from, but because Biden canceled deportations of the Haitians here in America, that just and oh my gosh, I cannot believe we're living in a time like this. It was so surreal during the Trump years because, and I believe we're still in the Trump years. I truly believe so because I believe he won the election. I don't care what anybody say. Um, so I do believe it was rigged. Uh, it was so weird during that time to see my family get sucked in by the deception of the media and all the lies about Black Lives Matter and everything else that they kept throwing at this community. Um, it was so surreal for me that I got into the fight. I was like, no, I'm going to jump into this because this is simple, you guys. Look at this. So jumped in, posting Facebook posts. This is that telling them about the abortion rates, Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood, and the rest of the agendas to keep the black community being blind, and so they can continue to use them. I it just seemed like none of it worked, and I was just like, wow. I even joined the conservative movement, and I realized that was the wrong idea because apparently now and these days, the modern day conservative is not a Christian. So even though the term conservative and the values of being a conservative is rooted in, this is what they said, is rooted in the Bible. This is what they say about our country too. Our country is rooted in the Bible. So how does a country that's rooted in the Bible, that's one nation that's under God, that's indivisible with liberty and justice for all, now we're in a place in 2021, from 1776 to 2021, we did fight for the liberty and justices for blacks and for everybody else to be free so this country can be completely free. But then you've got systemic stuff that's going on that they try to label as black systemic racism. But when you look at the picture, there is no systemic racism against black. There is a moral assassination, the morality, assassination of morality in the black community. That's the truth. Assassination of morality. That's truth. You look at black music in the 1960s, and then you look at black music even in the 1990s, and you look, okay, this is headed towards the wrong direction. So, we should have woken up a long time ago. Our ancestors went through so much through their faith to walk us over to this side of freedom, so that we can use our liberties to do whatever we want. We're just as bad as the Israelites when Moses led them out of Egypt, and then when Moses went up to the mountain to spend time with God to get the Ten Commandments, and then Aaron, Moses' brother, had all of them worshiping a golden calf. It amazes me to look back. I'm like, how did that happen when the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob just split the Red Sea for you guys and just sent plagues to Egypt so you guys can come out of it? What is this gold statue of a calf gonna do? Like, I do not understand. But it is, what I do understand is we live in a fallen nature. We live in a fallen nature. One of the reasons why Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And once we cross over to the light and to the truth and over to salvation and eternity with Jesus Christ, now we have a mandate to continue to be light, to spread light, and to be salt into the earth. We have that mandate, and it's a living sacrifice. You really have to be a living sacrifice. Jesus was a living sacrifice. And now that we have him living inside of us, now we have to offer our bodies up as a living sacrifice. We have to be living sacrifices, knowing that to live is Christ and to die is gain. So that's all I'm going to say, you guys, for this time. I don't want this to be dragged on. But one thing that is for certain, for sure, is that people need to wake up, and I think most people are going to start waking up. And I hope Nicki Minaj sees her similarity with Trump and not a difference from that bogus statement that person made. That was so bogus. What do you mean it took? Do you not know that they just silenced the president of the United States off of what? And this president for 4 years brought peace. The president brought peace to the world. And the longest time, no new wars. There was no new wars. No new wars. He got nominated for 4 Nobel Peace Prizes. He was the first president ever to step foot in North Korea. And you know, North Korea always testing nuclear bomb stuff. He was the first president to get them to stop that. Now you had nothing but silence from North Korea. You didn't hear nothing from North Korea. All we kept hearing about was North Korea, North Korea, North Korea, Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-un. And then once Trump got into office and then he stepped over there, and then once he left, you didn't hear nothing about that. But what you did hear was a mainstream, lamestream, fake news media, the complex, have a go at Trump about a Mueller report or Russian collusion and then impeachment. And they just going at this man, just back and forth, creating all kinds of stories so that people can buy into it. And then they started to fall apart around 2019 with the Jussie Smollett thing, because they tried their hardest to paint this country like MAGA is racist and white nationalists and white power, and this is so stupid. They even went so far as to label black people white nationalists. Like, how I don't care how far left you have gone in your life, how far away you've gone from common sense, but that right there should just do you in. I mean, Candace Owens is at a hearing, a government hearing, about white nationalism and her being compared to Hitler. Like, it's the dumbest things I've ever heard, the dumbest, stupidest things I've ever seen. And yet, I go and I look at the comment section, or I go on the news, and then people are just buying it up, like lapping it up, like it's just like the newest heavenly water that they've ever tasted. Itching ears, like to me, this is so much destruction. The spirit of Leviathan, this is so much destruction that's happening right now. So much twisted information, and they're the ones They're the ones that are doing exactly what they're accusing everybody else of doing. How come people not see that? The misinformation. How many times have they had to retract stories since 2015? I'm not even talking about before then. They've already had to retract stories. But since 2015, how many times have CNN, MSNBC, the Young Turks, the um, uh, the Washington Post, New York Times, how many times have they had to go back, retract statements, or go and try to sugarcoat things instead of being held accountable like they're supposed to be held accountable? When did a government that's supposed to be below the people get immunity from telling the truth and immunity from being held accountable, but the people who were supposed to be running the country are the ones that are being persecuted? It's just, what is happening? Well, the last thing I'll say, I was supposed to be already off, but then all of a sudden, boom. I saw a picture with Joe Biden and young, taking a photo picture, a photo op with young Trump supporters with MAGA hats on. Uh, yeah, that was like, not even a week ago. Not even a week ago. And in that photo, well, first of all, I was a little upset with the mama hens because they just let that man get around their kids, and he wrapped his hand around one of them's waist. These are kids, anyway. Um, I saw that, and I forgot why I was even bringing that up. But I saw that. Uh, This sucks. I can't believe I forgot. I brought that up for a reason. The Biden and that photo. Um. Oh, so in that photo, if you look closely to that photo, to the right, there is a man with a mask, or an Asian man with a mask on, and he looked very familiar. I said, "Wait a minute, that's that same man that was at the inauguration. That's that same man." And I remember back then there was a lot of misinformation going on about like an ETA, about Trump going to be installed in March, about a whole bunch of it was a lot of just misinformation happening. Uh, and but and one of the and some of the information that was getting out was that China is really in charge. That Trump, I mean that Biden has handlers, and that China basically is infiltrated, and that they're buying land here. I saw, they were buying up all the farmland, as well as Bill Gates buying up all the farmland. Um, hmm. So all that stuff was, I hadn't forgot about that. And so then I see that picture and I see that same man again. I'm like, who is this guy? Why do they have this Chinese man? Like, who is he? Somebody need to question him. Y'all wake up, man. Y'all wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Nicki, I know you did a song with Tasha Cobbs. I thought it was dope. I love the way you wrote the lyrics about God, about praising him, about uh, uh, you said something about Satan under. I forget but it was nice. Nicki Minaj is a huge talent. She's majorly talented. You can't deny her talent. The girl got skill. Okay, but I'm just praying for you, Nicki. Praying that I don't know I don't know if you have any ties with any elites or any contracts with any kind of record labels or anything that has any type of ties on you, where you could either speak or not speak, do or not do. I don't know what you're under, liably, what you're subject to. So what I can tell you is, don't deny Jesus. Not in this moment. This is the moment where we need to be screaming Jesus the most. This is the moment where we need to be being real about, and I know you have a catalog of music where you rap about whatever you want to rap about. Okay, I'm not one to sit here and be like, I'm not a fan of Nicki Minaj and I don't like her music, but I commend what she did. I think that is like that completely cancels out your comment. Don't Why do you have to mention that? You don't need to mention that. What she's going through right now, Nicki Minaj, has nothing to do with her music. So why even mention? Oh, I'm not a fan of her, and I don't like her music at all. Da, 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 da. Why? This has nothing to do with that. Just speak the truth. Nicki, I'm praying for you that they're wrong for what they're trying to do to you. You got close to 23 million followers and they just shut you down. That's not cool. We praying for you. We see the truth. We see what's going on. Leave it at that. But I see so many comments saying, I'm not a fan of hers. I don't really like her music. Who cares? That is not even up for debate right now. Nobody's even talking about that. No one's talking about that. So anyway, that's all I got to say. You guys have fun today. Keep God first. God bless.